Welcome back to the Control Room, the podcast where we dive into the latest tech and gaming news without taking ourselves too seriously. I'm James, I'm joined with Jeremy, and today we're wrapping up December 2025 with some of the wildest stories from the tech world, gaming industry drama, and the usual dose of wait, that actually happened. All right, today we're going to be talking about the great AI reality check of 2025, gaming hardware sales that hit a 35-year low. That's not good news. Some actually cool product launches that aren't just another subscription service. Plus, why your favorite gaming franchise might be changing forever.
I will say I do like subscription services.
So, remember when everyone said 2025 would be the year of AI agents joined the workforce and changed everything? Well, how has it? The reality check is that MIT Tech Review called 2025 the Great AI Hype Correction. Sam Altman predicted AI agents would materially change the output of work in 2025, and we're still waiting for that revolutionary workplace transformation. But what's actually happening in AI? Managers aren't even realizing how much AI is being used for work. 30% or more don't realize it. Roughly 90% say it saves time, 85% say it helps them focus, and 84% boosts creativity. So I think where it's being utilized, though, is definitely our younger crowd and faster moving offices, where process hasn't been set in stone for years. Like technology really advances with that kind of company. I think in smaller companies, we're not going to see AI put in as much. Really, I think we're going to see that smaller company AI adoption slow, and so the bigger companies that here are probably really skewing these numbers. But are we just not seeing a revolution so vast like we thought because it's happening quietly? Or do you think, and of course you watching, do you guys think that maybe it's not happening at all yet, or the numbers just are off still? What do you think, Jeremy?
No, I've definitely seen companies. I've seen companies integrate the AI, and I've also seen them not integrate it. And I will say, most of the time, the companies that do take the time integrate it into their workflow and everything, they see a significant spike in productivity. And but I will say it's much harder for smaller companies to get into it, which leads to maybe smaller companies closing because they can't keep up with big name companies that have integrated this stuff that make the jobs easier, and that way bigger companies don't have to pay as many people to do the same job. They can have an AI to do, and it's a whole thing. We can talk about this for hours if we wanted to on what
And
AI is actually doing to the
we
workplace.
could, and I know we work in two different fields. You're in government agency, and I in in-house IT. But I think that a lot of the AI use that we're seeing in the workplace is generative AI. It's not actually executing tasks that we think it is. It's people using Gen AI to do their work for them, not do a process or a function that someone was critically needed to do. And I could be wrong, but we are seeing implementation in service apps. Service Titan built it into their service apps. Copilot is everywhere in your browser, on your it's in your Windows update now. You have to go turn it off. It's getting harder to get away from it. Not everyone's a fan of AI though. There's a lot of talk about the environmental impact of AI. The water use is a big thing, but that's also been misleading. It doesn't use as much water as people think. You do
I didn't even
have
know it used water. To be quite honest with you, I didn't even know it used any water.
That's okay, but it has to be cooler than the data centers. But you have to think that water's already being pumped through there anyways.
Guys, why can't they just use recycled toilet water? It does the same thing. Come on.
Yeah, that.
He wasn't a fan of that one, guys.
But with AI, it is taking a lot of electricity. It is gonna continue to take space. Data centers are gonna be huge. I mean, we're gonna have a lot of environmental impacts that are a big issue. But right now we're just in a race to get AI up and out and be the best in America with AI, rather than doing it the best way for one, our environment in the states that we live in, and two, we're worried about winning over doing it correctly. If it can be implemented correctly, which takes a little more time, I think it has really good potential. Um, but are we worrying about it taking jobs more than we should be, and worrying about it, make the environmental impacts too little? That's a really good thing to think about. And speaking of it taking jobs, I mean, 19% of U.S. workers are in jobs highly exposed to AI replacement, but 51% of people expect AI to actually have a positive impact on their jobs, not a negative. So, very little US jobs are actually replaceable by AI, but over half of Americans, workers, expect AI to be a positive thing. That I think that speaks volumes for
Yeah,
people. And that's not a
I
number.
know it's. Hold on, I apologize. I apologize.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I want to throw an example out there. It's a very unconventional answer to this question or example. But as far as since they implemented the AIs into the ordering system at the fast food places, how happy have you seen them drive through workers? I've never seen them happier when they don't have to talk to me.
That well, that's just because it's you, buddy. That is a good example, though. I mean, Checkers has had that for a while. I don't go to Checkers. So I don't. I wouldn't know anything about that.
Taco Bell's got it now. Wendy's got it now. Like all the big places are switching to it, and it's not getting rid of the people actually working in the restaurant, but in fact, it's actually just eliminating that person to person contact, making their jobs a little bit easier, but not getting rid of them entirely.
Well, AI can't flip the burgers or fry the fries. I mean, you need someone there to do that. AI can't hand you your drink and your food. And of course, if you go real person, they will answer. They'll talk to you. They'll take your money. They'll always take your money. However, I think that the benefit, it's kind of an odd example. We got into fast food AI.
Apologize, but I thought it was very relevant to this.
It is in jobs. I think the relevancy there is that it makes things faster, and it is fast food, so the ordering's done, it's stacked up. They can help during a rush. Now that person's freed up, they're not taking your order. It's easier for them to focus on helping making the food or help clean up something. Especially in some smaller kitchens like that. So, I mean, we're looking at a net projection of 12 million new jobs created despite displacement on AI and it taking jobs. Um, excuse me. So I really think we're overthinking the displacement thing, and that jobs are safer than people think. Now, I think though the issue with AI, and we're going to move on from AI in a minute. We've been talking about it for forever now. I think the biggest thing is people are just scared because they don't understand what AI and LLMs are. Does it have potential to be negative? It does. But can it be a beneficial tool to all of us if used correctly? Do people need to educate themselves on what it is? Yes. Am I tired of seeing AI, memes, and garbage on the internet? Yes, I am. But that doesn't mean it's not a bad tool to use. But we get exposed to too much of the fake videos and stuff to where it kills it for most people. If you disagree, please go ahead. But I think we can move on if you're good. Yeah, yeah. So, Jeremy, what do we got going on in the game industry right now?
So, in quite honesty, if you thought the AI problems we had were bad, wait until you hear about this gaming hardware
Tell
software.
me about
Okay,
it.
I'll be
What's
honest.
going on right now? What's going on right now?
The numbers are absolutely brutal right now.
Yeah,
U.S. gaming hardware sales hit a 35-year low in November of 2025. Only 1.6 million units sold.
that's
That's
it.
crazy.
Wait,
That's
that's
crazy.
our 35-year low. What? How long ago was that? 95.
The lowest since 1995, where we have 1.4 million sold.
That's
So
crazy.
I can somewhat understand. I can get why the number is
Hmm.
so low.
Hmm. Yeah,
Mostly
of
because
course.
the average price for new gaming hardware is $439 right now. That's up 11% since 2024.
So
So just
a year up
a
eleven
year
percent.
in a year, it's been up 11%. Correct. And $439 for one piece of hardware, and that's newer hardware that it's gonna last you a little bit, but
Yeah.
still.
I mean, we can just look at the recent RAM prices, and this ties back into AI. But RAM prices have shot up, guys, by quite a bit.
Mhm.
That's gaming hardware. It's not just consoles. It's your RAM, your storage, all of that stuff that you need to game too. Like if you have a PC. And I don't know about most of you guys, but $439. that's about half a paycheck for me. That's a
That's
lot of money. I mean, I don't make that
that's not
much to
just
begin with, so that's quite a bit of money.
yeah. You can't just. I say this. Some people just have the money to throw around. Normal folk do not have the money just to
Yeah, I
throw
mean,
around.
for most people, that's a car payment. I mean, that's a car payment. That's a phone bill for some. That's rent.
Yeah,
That's utilities. I mean, that's a lot of money.
and
Eh,
especially if you have families and stuff, it's even worse for you.
yeah, no, it's ridiculous, and it really makes me upset because we see a lot of these companies. I guess everything does tie into AI. A lot of these companies that produce this hardware, they're gonna slow down commercial production for AI for big business data centers. That's where most of the resources are going to go. So it's only going to get worse for us. So I mean,
Yeah, exactly. And quite honestly, that $439 price point, that's an all-time high for November as a whole. Since the beginning of technology and hardware and everything like that. November's hardware spending this year,
yeah,
695 million. It's been down 27% year after year. It just keeps steadily going down.
yeah, I'd say,
Because closer to the end of the year, it seems newer hardware comes out, and the price just keeps going up, and people just honestly don't want to spend it.
well, yeah, I mean, we're towards the end of the year now. We have a couple weeks left in December until we hit
Hmm.
2026. And I mean, prices just now have shot up. I mean,
And you,
439 now, that's roughly 32 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM, which is the current gen of DDR RAM. But still, that's ridiculous. I mean, a year ago that was 130 bucks, or
and
just
you
a
would
couple months ago.
correct, and you would associate this time of the year all the sales that go on Black Friday, Cyber Monday, everything like that. You would associate like even these Christmas deals that a lot of these products would go down, but still we're in the middle of December, almost to the end of December, and they are still at the same price point. Like nothing has actually went down.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I tried doing some Black Friday shopping and I couldn't find a good tech deal to save my life. And
Oh no,
I'm
at all.
constantly watching. I mean, that's just what I do. And everything stayed the same price. Nothing really went down. Everything was still pretty much MSRP. It maybe got
Mhm.
knocked up some for a slight discount to make it look like it went down. But for the average person, average paycheck, this is going to be a rough holiday year if you're trying to buy your kids tech or anything. But this is where I
Right.
urge you. This is where I really urge you. Windows 10 ended in October 10th, right? So many companies, I know because I'm doing this at my company, so many companies are going to be getting rid of older hardware. Yes, it is older, it's not the newest. Go buy it. Go get it for free before it gets to the recycling station. Go pick it up, refurbish it. Let your kid learn how to do it. Yes, you're not getting updates. Throw Linux on it. I mean, you could do something. Linux gaming's gotten better with Steam. There's Proton you can use. So, it's not really a big deal to have Windows anymore. If your kid's just gaming or doing web browsing, go get an old computer, throw Linux on it, go find an old GPU somewhere. The marketplace right now, check your local eBay, your local marketplace. It's flooded with old hardware that needs to be used. And with the current prices, that's your best option, anyways. I mean, that's just my opinion. That's what I would do. If I didn't
No,
have stuff already, I would be hitting the marketplace. Crazy. I mean, my area is not known for refurbished tech. I live in a very old age limit area. That sounds
but
weird, but
but I will say I don't live far, but I'm in a much younger population
and in our
group
areas, I
where
mean, we
it
live
is.
near each other. Our areas, the used tech was pretty shallow a few months ago. I mean, we were hunting for deals, and we couldn't find anything anywhere. But I would say for sure, recently I've seen a lot of stuff going because people are upgrading. Go get their
Mhm.
old stuff, even if it's 6, 7, 8 years old. 6, 7, sorry. Uh, 6, 7, 8 years old. I mean, it's still good hardware. You don't need to play everything at 4K. I hate that
Oh, I
under
don't.
this. I hate this idea that everything needs to be played at 4K. 1080p
High
is fine.
graphics, like you don't
1080p
need that.
is 1080p medium high is fine. And if it can't do 1080p high, 1080p medium is fine. 60 FPS is perfectly fine. Go buy a 60 hertz
Yeah.
monitor. You listen. Most people can't see past 75 hertz. You just can't. What does it
What
matter?
the what the
Um,
heck is a hertz?
your child, listen, parents out there, aunts, uncles, whoever you're buying for, your kid will not know the difference. throw a light strip in it if they want some RGB. Buy them some used hardware. It'll play Minecraft. It'll most of the older stuff will still play Fortnite pretty well.
Fortnite,
You
Roblox,
know, I mean,
everything.
it'll play some of that stuff pretty well. You don't need high intense graphics. 1080p is probably fine. You don't need 4K. You don't need 1440p. You don't need ray tracing. It's kind of a waste of hardware and money. I mean, you can play games perfectly fine at 1080p and have a good time. Because once you're gaming, you're not even going to notice. You know, you don't need
Yeah,
that kind of stuff is for the people that have the money to spend on it. If you don't, buy what
yeah.
you can and grow from there. You know, I mean,
And with yeah, with that being said, there's tying everything back together. This has literally been the worst November for hardware sales in 30 years. So I feel like we're at a point where graphic cards cost more than some people's rent, and we're we're paying more for gaming hardware, but buying way less of it.
I, I, I think, I
Are we
think,
actually at that point where we're hitting a ceiling where with what people will pay for these products?
I want to disagree with you there. But I also want to agree. I think we had a couple years ago. We had our GPU shortage. We definitely had our GPU shortage. Graphic card prices were super high. They have come down, starting to get more reasonable. But I think that we're gonna start seeing them shoot up again. First it was RAM, then SSDs. Next is gonna be graphics cards. Um, you can buy brand new graphics cards, mid-range cards, 8 to 16 gigabytes, 500, $300, right? Now, that's above our average price for new hardware, but that's still more than people can spend. Because, I mean, you can genuinely look on Facebook for that same price range, $300 to $500. You can find a few years old setup with a 1080, a 2060, something a little older that'll still do 1080p gaming perfectly fine. I think we're going to see a floor or a ceiling with RAM prices. I don't think that many people are going to be biting the bullet to pay $600 for 32 gigs of RAM. Even everything's gone up, DDR4 as well. I know a lot of YouTubers and creators have talked about it, where they think it's ridiculous too, and most of them get their stuff sent to them. Um, but for those who do buy it, I mean, that's going to hold a lot of production. So, I mean, that's kind of my whole take on this hardware sales problem. Um,
Oh, and quite honestly, at this point, with the way that hardware is going for computer gaming, why aren't we going back to normal console gaming? Why do we have to? You know, I guess there's always been a console war, and people are trying to throw PCs in the mix now. Why why don't people just resort back to a normal gaming console
I mean,
if that's the
yeah,
case?
you're not wrong, but we are seeing console prices rise too.
We
Xbox
are.
raised the standard MSRP for the Xbox One series. The Nintendo Switch 2 launched at a ridiculous price, almost $500. That's crazy. It didn't even come with an OLED screen. The Switch Pro, the first Switch Pro, has a better screen than the Switch 2 does, and the Switch 2's hardware is only comparable to a PS4,
Correct.
almost a
Correct.
20-year-old console. I mean,
Mhm.
it's old, it's ancient. 20 years might be a stretch, but you get my point.
15 maybe.
15. I mean, yeah, 15-year-old console. It's aged.
Correct. No, I get it, but I feel gaming consoles are very good if like I grew up playing gaming consoles. That I think everybody did for from our generation.
Yeah,
Now that we have upgraded to PCs, we see the benefits of having one.
the appeals.
And
The appeals.
the appeal. We get it now. However, I am not opposed to ever going back and playing on an Xbox, a PlayStation, whatever, to play certain games. Because I feel personally some games are better when you play them on consoles.
I
But
agree. I think some games run inherently better, or you have an easier experience with a controller.
it's a lot of ease of access. You it's a easy menu to navigate. You
Easy
can get on
menu.
the game
How
quickly.
often does your console really update? Half the time. And
Yeah,
listen, I'm an avid user. I use Windows for ease, and I say that knowing that at any fucking point that it's gonna need an update, and then I'm screwed. Yeah, my games have to update too. So then what? So on a console, I can be guaranteed that I don't always have to update the firmware. Game might need to update, set on auto updates. Excuse me, drinking this monster. And I could pretty much just pick it up and play. I don't have to worry about, most of the time, if my friends and I are all on the same console, I don't have to worry about if the game, I got it on Xbox or Steam. I can just pick it up and play. That being said, now that I've been on PC officially for, over a year, I like PC more. But I use it for more than just gaming. I use it for work, home lab stuff, VMs. I mean, I use it for a lot of stuff. The gaming experience, though, is a little better, depending on what I'm playing. But there's a lot of games that I'd rather play on a console.
Like Roblox. He loves Roblox.
Yeah. Um, but I mean, like FPS shooters, they're easy to play on keyboard and
Oh,
mouse,
much
but
easier.
I'd rather play them on a console sometimes.
They're so
Um,
much easier on a console, I will say.
but I play a lot of Skyrim type games. Skyrim also. I think that the controls are easier on Xbox. It's simpler. I think you just have that ease of that console is just for gaming. You can run into so many problems with a PC. Hardware can fail at any point. So can a console, but it's just more prone with a computer, I feel like. Um,
Mhm.
and at this point, it's probably cheaper to go buy an Xbox One X that'll game perfectly fine, or a PS5 for the same price as 32 gigs of RAM. Um, PC
Mhm.
PC gaming and PC building is just not feasible right now. It is surprising to note, though. Speaking of PS5, that was November's best seller in both units and dollars, meaning more PS5s were sold, and it made the most money. Um, that's the first time, however, since the Switch 2 has launched, that the PS5 dominated both categories simultaneously, which is crazy. So even with the sales collapse, consoles are still outselling PC components. However, I don't know how long that'll last. A lot of kids are going to be disappointed this Christmas.
I know I am.
Yeah, yes, everybody will be. But you just cannot afford console and hardware the same anymore. So, and what do you think, Jeremy? And viewers, you too, in the bottom here, put them in the comments. Do you think that the high prices are actually helping Sony, Nintendo, and Microsoft sell their consoles when it comes to comparing the value between a $500 console and a PC when a graphics card and RAM combo costs $1,500 or more?
100%. Oh my goodness. Look, I'd rather at this point be able to spend $500, which we say that you can go get one off Facebook Marketplace, pawn shop, somewhere, and they're selling them for cheaper than that. It's refurbished, but it still will get the job done. And you can go spend that amount of money, get something that's right now ready to go, pop a game in, or download a game and immediately play rather than I have to order this part for it, this part, this part, this part, wait for everything to come in, either have to have the knowledge how to build it or have somebody that can build it for you, pay somebody else to do
Yep.
it,
Yeah.
and spend a lot of money and time to get a machine that will be able to run, or spending a even higher price point and buying something that's already built for you and taking that risk of, well, you can't really interchange those things. So I feel like spending the money now to have something that runs immediately is a much better appeal, especially for like parents this year for Christmas rather than buying all these parts.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Um, it's and I think everybody in the comments will agree too. It just, when you compare the price to ease of access ratio, it's
Mhm.
just cheaper and in the long run to get a console still. And as an avid PC gamer, I hate to say that because I really want PC gaming to get more accessible, and I thought it would this year. Um, let's keep going. We have a lot more things to cover, and as many of you saw when you clicked on this video, you saw the thumbnail and that big number, 197 billion. Well, what were we talking about? Well, the gaming industry is expected to hit $197 billion by the end of 2025. Oddly
Mhm.
enough, with everything this year, it had a lot of growth. PC gaming specifically growing 10.4% to $34 billion. Sorry, $43 billion in 2025. All top 10 PC games were premium full price releases. They weren't free to play games. And BCG projects, that the gaming industry will hit 350 billion by 2030. So a little under double in about 5 years where it's at now. So we see that hardware sales are collapsing, but software sales are growing, and people aren't buying the new hardware, but they're still buying the games. And physical game sales are also hitting lows not seen since 1995. I think that ties into, our all-time low in 35 years. But so what does this mean for optimization, though? Are we going to see better optimized games because people can't afford to upgrade to the new hardware? I think we will. But
I to go along with that, I feel like games they make them nowadays. Developers are making the games so that they can run on this older hardware and run effectively. But yeah, I feel like sometimes they are. No, no,
no,
let
I
me
have to disagree with you there. But go ahead, go ahead, go ahead,
no.
go ahead. I have to
I
disagree with
feel
you.
like okay, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we will.
I feel like they're making it so they run on some older hardware. I'm not saying like old as in grandma's old computer or
Grandma's compact
parts.
from '89.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not saying that. I'm saying parts that are maybe a gen or two old. Okay.
Well, yeah.
I'm saying that. I'm
I
not
mean, I
saying
think though,
by no means am I saying grandma's computer is gonna run anything. Okay.
yeah, go take grandma's computer. It'll run everything. No,
And
I,
we
I
can
think
play Fortnite on high settings.
I think the general consensus though is that hardware should last, a while.
Which is yeah, which is
You
kind of
should
where
be
I
able
was
to
driving with
buy
that.
the way it should be is you should be able to buy the current gen hardware. Say someone went out and got the newest CPU from AMD, the newest GPU, the newest motherboard, the newest everything. That computer should last them 10 years, or maybe more, depending on what they're playing.
Yeah.
It should last them 10 years. Now, I'm not saying 10 years with all the AAA games that are coming out, but they should be able to game most games for 10 years. I mean, I expect it to start to struggle with the higher end games that come out, yes, especially in the highest qualities, but I would still expect that hardware to run proficiently in 10 years with some older games or some less heavy games, indie games, stuff like that,
So, which is kind of where I was getting at. This hardware, from the last 5 to maybe even 10 years, is able to run games that come out now. Yes, they optimize them for ideally this newer hardware to run the games
Well, I
effectively.
mean, we see
Um,
though that's yes, but even a
this
lot of these
this
newer
older
games are
hardware
struggling.
is
Even
still
a
good
lot of the
enough.
newer hardware is struggling to run some of the newer games. I mean, for example, we saw the remake, we saw the remastered version of Elder Scrolls Oblivion plays horribly. It wasn't optimized. Um, and it wasn't just mid-tier gamers that suffered. I mean, it was people with high-end PCs that also had issues. Maybe not everybody, but it did. I personal experience with Battlefield RedSec. My 7600 budget GPU, 8 gig VRAM, couldn't cut it. I mean, it just would not work with that game. I had to swap and I
I
had to downgrade to a 5700 Radeon 5700 for it to work.
I had no issues with the game
Yeah,
personally.
I mean, it's certain generations are having issues, and with that, I don't think they're optimizing games well. I mean, we can blame drivers, but I think that
Man, screw you, drivers.
I just think that a lot of it's a money grab. Red Tech was free, so I can't call it a money grab, but I think a lot of it's just pushing something out so they can continue to make money. Because I know people will buy it, even if it doesn't run well. Give
Well,
it enough
okay.
slack, though, most companies will eventually fix those problems.
Well, how do you feel about Call of Duty right now? That Black Ops 7, and how is it running?
I played the beta. I did not play the actual game. Of course, it automatically installed it for me. I didn't want it because I have Warzone and the whole hub. Um, I wasn't impressed. It felt like a mobile game that I was playing with a mouse and keyboard. I think I had better time on a game like Bloodstrike, which is a mobile game, but
It
you can
is a
get it
mobile
on
game.
Steam. Um, Black Ops 7 was a real disappointment. Again, it felt like a money grab. Um,
And can we be transparent with what it is? This franchise has made so many games that are almost identical to each other with reskins on them that the fatigue with the company is real. The franchise, it's we've had enough of it, and we've what been playing these games since 2005.
I mean, I've been
I
playing
mean,
this game since before I even knew how to think on my own.
correct.
Call of Duty used to be something that you looked forward to every year. You got a good campaign. You got a good hell of a campaign. Used to multiplayer would be fun. Things were different. I think, genuinely, my last good COD game was Modern Warfare 2019. That is the last time I had genuine fun on a Call of Duty game.
I can say mine was before that. The last actual Call of Duty game I enjoyed was Black Ops 3.
4 was
Like
okay, but I think
4 was decent, but
genuinely the last Call of Duty game I genuinely enjoyed was Modern Warfare 2019. Ever since then, it's been, let's be real, it's just been a pile of fucking slop. I mean, it hasn't been the greatest. COD sucks now, and yet it's still selling like crazy. I mean,
you say it's selling like crazy, but it's also had double digit dips in sales, you know? It versus last year, the comparison from last year to this year at the same time frame,
COD
it
6,
dropped
Black
double
Ops
digit
6
numbers,
sold better, yes. I think a lot of people are getting tired of Black Ops monopoly on just shit games.
which is where I think Battlefield especially has come into the picture this year
But
with
the
Battlefield
thing
4.
is they are two different games. They have two different play styles. We can't compare them apples to apples. It's more like apples to oranges. And
It is, but
but if you are
but
an FPS fan, the thing is, if you're an FPS fan, Battlefield 6. We didn't play the actual game. We played Red Sec. That's all we got. We didn't pay for Battlefield 6 either. Um, I was more impressed by it than I was playing Black Ops 7 or Black Ops 6. I'll say that. Things felt better. And there's a lot of comparisons. There are so many comparisons of these two games, but at the same time, they're different. And Battlefield hasn't had a good hit in a while now, so they had to do something.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel I agree with you as comparing apples to oranges, but right now I have, especially within the Call of Duty community, seen a large jump of people from Call of Duty to Battlefield because they like the mechanics of it. They like the play style, which Battlefield is not new to the play style that they established with this new game. It's been the same thing in every Battlefield. People just are now like I feel people have gotten over Call of Duty to the point they are looking for something new that they haven't played before, and it's why they're turning to Battlefield. That's my take on it. And
Yeah.
even that's we can see that compared to the European launch where 63% of their sales were down when Battlefield 6 came out.
Yeah. I mean,
Battlefield
Activision,
4, but that's okay.
I think the biggest issue too is Activision has been doing back to back releases. We've seen a game year after year. They haven't slowed down. The issue is that they're struggling, simply put, and it's because around this time, October, November, every year, they have a game coming out. They are not giving themselves enough time to properly optimize and create a good game. There's too much AI in it now. There's too much reskin stuff. It's getting ridiculous. So, I mean, what does it say, though, about the industry when Call of Duty, the most successful gaming franchise ever, is having problems? I mean, is this franchise fatigue? Or are we just seeing people move away from $70 games entirely? Because I think indie games have blown up like crazy this year. Let
I
us know what you think
personally
down
will
in the
say
comments.
I played a lot of indie games this year.
Yeah.
A lot of games that are not by big name companies.
Yeah, and I mean, let me know down in the comments. I think you guys would agree that you've probably played some more indie games than normal this year, and they've been good because they are really fighting against, releases like COD to get up there. So let's move on,
Also,
though.
let us know what. Hold on. Also,
Oh,
in the
yeah.
comments, let us know what your favorite game from the year was.
Yeah, what's your favorite game this year? That'd be a good thing to know. For me personally, I think this is a tough one actually. I think I'm gonna let you answer first, and then I'll come up with my answer. See if we
That's
agree.
okay.
We'll see if we agree.
That's okay. I definitely don't think we have the same answer because I know personally you haven't played the game I played. That I'm thinking of. My favorite game this year was actually the that it released just recently in the last I'd say 2 months. Dispatch. Very good game. Storytelling's on point. The ending of it, at least because it's a choose your own ending type of game. Depending on the choices you make throughout the game, it corresponds with what actually happens throughout it. And the ending that I ended up with, not expecting. So I feel like it was a very good game.
No, you're right. I haven't played it. It did come out on my birthday, surprisingly. I just didn't know about it. Um, yeah, I haven't played it, so I can't say it's my favorite game. I want to say this year I've enjoyed. To be honest with you, I think I put the most hours into Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. But if we're gonna talk multiplayer indie games that people play together, I think Peak was up there for me.
Peak was good.
Peak
Yeah.
was up there for me. It's a great game. We never beat it. And we kind of gave up. I think I've had a lot of fun though with recently Arc Raiders. I burn out of games easily though. I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
Yap Yap being released. Yap Yap, if you guys haven't played it, you guys should go play that
Yeah.
demo.
Yeah. It's
That is a
fun.
fun game. And Banana Shooter. That's not. I don't know if that was released this year, but that's a fun game
No.
too. You guys
No.
should play
I
Banana
don't
Shooter.
think people actually know about Banana Shooter, but
Banana
it's a
Shooter
good one.
is amazing.
I think
Wasn't
we found Banana Shooter at like 2, 3 a.m. in the morning, and we played that for so long.
yeah. I do have to say though, I don't think anything really stood out to me this year though.
Nothing, nothing at
And
all.
nothing stood out like, wow, that's amazing, that's game changing. Things were good. Peak was great. Um,
Peak. I will say peak. Let's say peak. Um, and the other indie games like it, like what's that one called? That I'm thinking of. You know which one I'm thinking of.
are we there
Um,
yet?
well, that one too. No, the other one. Repo. That's what I'm thinking.
Repo. Oh,
Peak
Repo was
Repo.
good.
I
Schedule
feel like
One.
all these. I feel like all these games coming out now. It's a great game. It takes me back to inviting a bunch of friends over, like for after school, and having just big gaming parties with
Mm,
your friends
mhm.
and things like that. It
And
takes me
I
back to
know
that. It's a fun
I
game.
I don't mean to cut you off here, Jeremy, but
No, no,
I know a couple months ago when we did the first episode of this podcast, we discussed the year of the indie game, and I think our prediction kind of was right.
no.
2025 overall was the year of the indie game. I mean, indie games saw a massive, I think, uplift in who was playing them, the market. They're just more popular now. But I think that's just because they're being made better. I mean, I think, and I don't mean, yes, they've improved in quality, but I think that people care about what they're putting out more than big companies do, and that's been um a lot of that reason why.
I I'm with you. Um, guys, I do apologize, but I think we've been on this topic for about 27 and a half minutes or so. So let's get
Hey, we're
into a
not
new
in a
segment.
rush. We're not in a rush, but yeah, let's talk about. Why don't we talk about the industry right now and some hot takes that people may have?
Hot
Um,
takes that
and
people
this
may
is more
have.
tech
Yeah.
related, so if you want to, you can skip up. I'll put a timestamp down there towards the end. But let's talk about industry analysis right now and some hot takes going on right now. So, some big money moves being made. Mythic raised 125 million series for Series D energy efficient AI chips. You'll notice the keyword there being energy efficiency. Sierra secured 400 million for Series E for AI powered data security, and Ben raises 27.5 million for Series B for AI employee benefits program.
Mhm.
So a lot of money, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't really understand half of what I said. I just this is what I'm seeing whenever I did some research. And I think to the outside person, especially myself, what I'm seeing there, that's a lot of money being put into AI. You know, but it's looking like these investors are moving away from general AI to specific applications. Energy efficiency is becoming a major selling point because remember the CO2 problems and the water and energy problems from current usage. Um, so B2B applications, business to business, are getting way more funding than consumer AI. So I think that's good though at the same time because that's where we need to focus is maybe business to business applications and less on the consumer side because let's be real, your 10-year-old making a weird cat video or something with AI or some stupid picture, that's kind of a waste of it. It's a tool and people should be able to use it, but I think it's being wasted. Um,
Come on, you know you like the cat videos. Come on. Come on.
Now, let's talk about something else, though. Um, we kind of skipped over this when we discussed video games, but I think we're seeing a big jump to cloud gaming, and I don't think it's been talked about a lot. But cloud gaming is getting good. I mean, you're able to play games from the cloud with relatively ease. You have a decent internet connection. It's not hard to play games via cloud. You don't have to download them. You just stream them. Um, the gaming market for cloud is 9.3 billion just this year. And by 2032, so just in what's that, 7 years, we're looking at it hitting 159 billion, so 150 billion more than what it's at now.
Mhm.
So 293 million cloud gamers globally, meaning 45% usage surge during 2025 holiday season, and gaming subscription retention rate is 81%. So even with Microsoft raising Game Pass Ultimate recently from 19.99 to 29.99, um,
Yeah.
you know, and that's not just Game Pass though. A lot of people are staying. It looks like for the benefits of cloud gaming and free games. So, but that's the weird part, isn't it? Though, because we're seeing hardware sales are collapsing and they're going under but cloud gaming is glowing, well, it is glowing,
It's glowing.
but it's growing, and just the Latin American market saw almost a 40% growth in subscription adoption, and global subscription market hit 14 billion, and that's up another 3 billion from last year. So people aren't buying hardware, but they're subscribing to cloud gaming services. So it kind of feels, and you may disagree in the comments, you may agree. Give me your take on it, but it kind of feels like we're Netflixifying gaming in real time. And if cloud gaming is the future, why are companies still making $1,500 graphics card?
So what I I will say I think we've been Netflixifying gaming for a very long time, actually.
I think we've
Um,
solidified it
I,
this year, though, by quite a bit.
we've solidified it, but I will say since the extinction of physical copies of video games, because they're the only company that is still using physical copies of video games, and they are even moving away from it, is Nintendo. Because it is very hard to get a physical copy of a game for an Xbox, for a PlayStation. Since that, I compare it to Blockbuster going out of business and Netflix taking over. You know, Blockbuster used to go down. You used to rent a movie or so, and you return it a couple days later. Netflix came out. Blockbuster went extinct because people had movies at their fingertips, whatever they wanted to watch,
Well, I mean,
and could have it in their house.
it did take a couple years. I mean, Netflix just moved forward, and Blockbuster wouldn't. And Blockbuster could have bought Netflix, and they didn't. It's just a matter of our people making the right move. And yeah, you're right. It is harder to find games. You walk into Target or for something for a PlayStation 5 that's a disc or an Xbox that's a disc. Personally, with my Switch, I prefer my games to be physical on my Switch because those don't come with a lot of storage to begin with, and it's harder to do external storage with those. I prefer a physical game disc or cartridge. And I didn't mean to cut you off there. I'm sorry, but I think that the only hard uh, block really with cloud gaming is going to be internet connection, but even that's improving. I mean, most cities are running fiber now, and providing that to its residents. Even if you live in rural areas, there's things like Starlink, and if you live near a phone tower, you can get 5G home internet from a phone tower. Rural areas will struggle, but I think that with internet becoming more accessible at faster speeds, it's just easier to cloud game. You know, um, and I could see why that's easier for some people. Uh, with storage getting more expensive too. I mean, who's going to be able to afford storage? I mean, at this point. to store all those games. Why would I not just cloud stream it? It's saved anyways, saves to the cloud. It's just sorry for cutting you off, but I get where you're coming from there. But I think that it's faster than the Netflix blockbuster kind of cut off. But I do see where you're coming from, and I'm gonna let you keep going because I cut you off. My bad.
I've I've lost it, buddy. You're good.
Okay. So what else are we looking at though? I mean, let's talk about next year because we're coming up to it anyways. Um, do we think that with the memory chip shortage, because there's a big reason why memory, DDR, RAM, and let me say more clearly, a big reason why RAM prices are going up is because it's being used by data centers that run AI companies. They are, however, running out of memory chips, meaning that AI boom could experience a huge interruption. So, will gaming hardware prices come back down to earth whenever that happens? Or is enthusiast market dead? Are we going to see these prices last for a few generations? It's possible. Do I hope they do? Absolutely not. I'd like to upgrade at some point. Will cloud gaming actually deliver on its promise, or will latency still kill it? That's a big issue, but we've seen a lot of improvements this year. So, are we heading for an AI energy crisis that forces a slowdown? Maybe, maybe not.
Great questions. Great
Yeah.
questions.
And these are all just things to think about. Anything you'd like to finish up with, Jerry? Because I think we're getting close to time.
No. I think we're really looking at the big questions though. Gaming industry projected to hit 350 billion by 2030.
Yeah,
Okay. So, but hardware sales suggesting customers are tapped out.
yeah, they are.
Based
We
on
are.
what we talked about today, it seems like the market has been going down as far as consumers purchasing them.
Yeah,
Um, but the prices just keep going up. The AR market projected 407 billion by 2027,
just a year.
but yeah, we're about to hit 2026, so it's 1 year away pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
But environmental costs are becoming impossible to ignore. Again, the AI market is wonderful. It's helped jobs and businesses grow.
Mm-hmm.
But at what cost are we using the AI at?
Yeah,
What's
yeah,
it
yeah.
taking
Of
to actually run these things?
course,
And then again, back to the memory chips, prices go up by 20% with no belief in sight through 2026. So
for it to
what?
come down. Yeah. Um.
Yeah, what are we gonna do with that?
So I think this is kind of a bold assumption here.
Mhm.
And I want to put it out there anyways. Though I think that we will see a major correction in 2026, and it's either AI companies will figure out the energy problem, or and just maybe, probably not, but just maybe, government will start regulating data center power consumption. And for gaming, I
Mm,
think we're going to see a two-tier market premium um, hardware for enthusiasts and cloud gaming for everyone else. So I think we're going to see, a premium in hardware still, but I think cloud gaming may take some rain because it's cheaper than buying new hardware and
mhm,
cheaper than buying games, and you are essentially running it off the same hardware anyways that you would try to buy for however much.
mhm,
Because you cloud gaming, you're running it off of a data center somewhere. So I mean, it's not even locally using your hardware completely. It's all about your internet connection. So it, it's just that's where I'm at with it. That's my assumption for
yeah.
2026. And I may be wrong. I
Well,
hope I'm right though. Well, in some ways I hope I'm right. In some ways I hope I'm wrong. So
but but let us know what you guys think. What do you guys predict is coming up for 2026? We'd love to hear it.
mhm.
Love to get the feedback. It also gives us great talking points for the next
It
episode.
does. It does. We want to really answer and bring up a lot of the points that are left in the comments. So make sure you do. If you watch this, make sure you leave something in them comments. Um, and so I'd like to just wrap up by saying, what did we learn today? AI is having a reality check moment, but that might also be healthy. Gaming hardware is pricing itself out of the market, but the industry is still growing. Some genuinely useful products are launching without unnecessary AI integration, which is awesome. The tech world is still figuring out what actually matters versus what just sounds cool.
And that's some things we discussed today. But
Mm.
what did you learn? Did you guys actually learn anything from this video? Any new information you did not know? Because a lot of these points that James brought up, I actually did not know myself. So it's very useful information to have.
Yeah. So I mean, what tech disappointment from this year surprised you the most? Really, um, any purchases that you're holding off on because of the pricing? And I think Jeremy's covered some of the other questions. So let's go ahead though and wrap up. But I just want to say, guys, thanks for hanging out in the control room with us. Remember, technology is supposed to make our lives better, not more complicated. Stay tuned for next episode where we will be talking about the wins and fails of 2025 in a little bit more depth for the tech industry. And keep your drivers updated and your expectations realistic. Have a good night, guys.